Well, Michael, thank you for the introduction, and for those who were standing when my name was announced, I'm honored by that as well. And I know that some people are just coming in the door because of the line. I think that line outside in the crowd here is a testament not only to your enduring allegiance to the people of Israel and the Jewish people here in Pennsylvania and around the country, but it's also a testament to the challenge before us. We shouldn't have to gather on a rainy day in Pennsylvania to talk about anti-Semitism, but we must. So I want to start by thanking our hosts, Rabbi Madier and so many faith leaders who are here with us today. We're honored, of course, by the presence of Governor Shapiro and the First Lady, honored by your presence. I have about a half-hour introduction of him coming up, so get comfortable when I start that. No, but I'll be introducing the governor in a moment. But I know that we also have here today so many leaders in this community of Philadelphia and southeastern Pennsylvania, and I know beyond. I just had an opportunity before coming out here to meet witnesses of the horror, the massacre of October the 7th in Israel. And I know that many of you have met and had family members who were witnesses to that horror. I want to make reference again to that day, but I wanted to start by I think giving us a sense of why we're gathered today. We're gathered today in solidarity as people and so many of us of different faiths, people who are citizens, I guess in most cases, or every case, of one commonwealth, a commonwealth that was founded by William Penn as a, quote, tolerance settlement all those centuries ago. We also gather in this sacred historic place of faith. We gather in this season of light, this season of hope. But we also gather, of course, for a very specific purpose, I should say. We gather to call out and condemn the evil, the horrific evil of anti-Semitism. That's where we gather. The evil, the darkness, the venom of anti-Semitism has been with us for a long time. Even just in the last couple of years, we've seen the significant rise in incidents of anti-Semitism all across the country. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the FBI statistics or the ADL statistics and state data, state after state. In fact, just last year, I think it was about December the 20th of last year, I stood on the Senate floor to give a speech about anti-Semitism because of the rise over the last couple of years. Not simply between 21 and 22, as I was speaking at the end of last year, but the rise in the last number of years. Then, a year ago, I was referencing the massacre of Tree of Life in Pittsburgh, the horror of 11 Pennsylvanians losing their lives, young and old, congregants, actually 3 congregations in one place, and the 6 that were injured that day, including law enforcement. So I was referencing that horrific event as the worst massacre of Jews in America. I was also referencing other incidents and examples. Charlottesville, Virginia, when those hate-filled marchers who were spewing hate and racism in the state of Virginia a couple of years ago. But after the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack in Israel, an event that killed over 1,200 innocent women, men, and children, innocent people in their homes, innocent people celebrating that particular Saturday, innocent people who had a prospect for the future and whose future was wiped out and that of their families. Since that attack, as Michael made a reference to, anti-Semitism has exploded, and that might be an understatement, all across our country, and unfortunately here in our Commonwealth. Whether it's college campuses or business establishments, a child care center, schools, synagogues, all kinds of places in American life, we've seen displays of anti-Semitism over and over and over again, by words or signs or actions, hate just spewing out of people over and over again. And as a public official, I have an abiding obligation to not only call out and categorically condemn anti-Semitism, racism, Islamophobia, other kinds of hate in our land. In addition to that obligation, I also have a duty to take action, to take steps to root it out, to investigate it, to make sure that people can be held accountable for it, and to do everything we can to prevent it. I just give you one example of something I took action on. This is a letter I just sent Friday after hearing testimony from an individual who runs a very important office, the Office of Civil Rights at the Department of Education. I asked her as I was leaving the briefing they were giving, what does she need? Do you need appropriations? Do you need new authorities? What else do you need? And I said, you can just send a letter to the committee and we'll consider it and just put it in writing and we'll get it. And before I could walk out the door because I was running to vote, she said, please, before you leave, I just have one request. And she asked for more appropriations to hire 150 people, 150 individuals to work in that office because of the rise of these cases. So they can investigate colleges and universities. They can make other investigations of institutions of education. And we've got to make sure that we provide those dollars. This particular office, which is now burdened by more and more cases, that exponential rise, doesn't have the resources. We should provide the appropriations. It's not a lot of money, but there's some in Washington opposed to it. But here's part of what I said in the letter. I said from October 7th, 2023, incidents of anti-Semitic harassment, vandalism, and assault are reported to increase by 388%, as Michael made reference to. That's just in a less than a 3-week period. 388% increase over that period. Then I went on in the letter to say, disturbingly, many of these reports have come from students on college campuses who describe witnessing anti-Semitic graffiti and vandalism and from being subjected to virtual harassment and violent threats, unquote, over and over again. The least we can do, those of us who have the authority in this case, one legislative body, the United States Congress, or two houses of one Congress, is to get them the funds they need so they can fully investigate and prosecute these cases where there is a hostile environment on the campus. So as we celebrate in this season of the year, this Festival of Lights, we have work to do. But as we celebrate this season of light and thereafter, because we're going to be dealing with this issue well beyond this wonderful season of the year, let us come together and recommit ourselves to bring light to the awful darkness of anti-Semitism and hate. God bless you and thank you.